right. All right. So back again, staying true to the word. This is Moments of Truth once again. So today I'm going to talk about the power of solitude, something that I know very well because during my breakup back in 2016, actually 2017 rather, I had plenty of time I decided to say, you know what, screw being around a bunch of people and the company of everybody. I'm gonna spend some time by myself. And by spending time alone, I learned a lot about myself. I learned the things that I liked. I learned the things that I didn't like. I took some adventures on my own. I did a lot of reading, and there's a lot of development that happened by being in solitude. Now, some people cannot fathom being by themselves. And, it happened. COVID came about, and then we actually had no choice at some point or another but to be by ourselves. That's how it goes, But the power of solitude, it gives you perspective. It gives you something that being distracted doesn't. It gives you time to learn more about who you are. And when you learn more about who you are, you can carry yourself better. You can do things better. You can be in different situations better. You can even be around people better because you spent time by yourself. Now, the most important thing for me in being in solitude was me learning that I can survive on my own. And there's a lot of people out there that don't feel like that. They think they need someone to help them survive. Now, there's a dichotomy to it. People need people. We all need that. All right. We need somebody, right? We got to help somebody. We need to get helped by somebody. But when you learn to stand on your own 2 feet, you're good to go. And there's people in relationships, particularly that feel like, okay, time is running out, the clock is ticking, all this other crazy shit. But you can learn to be on yourself because you can learn to be by yourself. Because if you don't take the time to be in solitude, how are you going to be solid when you're around a bunch of other people, when you don't know yourself? People go into relationships and stuff because they're feeling lonely. For what? You go in there and you're not whole yourself, and then you bring those behaviors along with you, and then things get all messed up. And then you wonder what happened. You're pointing the finger at everybody else. You gotta look at yourself first. And that's one of the biggest things I learned about being by myself was I had to take ownership and responsibility of my own shit, of myself. No one else could do it for me. I had to do that. And when I learned how to take ownership, my world opened up. I mean, yeah, first and foremost, I just celebrated my 2nd anniversary. Great. I got married in 2020 during COVID. How about that? Hard times, got it done. I learned to manage my finances better, because I wasn't that great with money back then. And because I wasn't that great with it, I didn't have the experiences that I could have had. And now I have these experiences. I've traveled a couple of places, and I do some things. But all that came too because of me taking time to be by myself, and I enjoy being in my solitude. I don't have to constantly worry about having the company of someone else to distract me. And for you, if you're trying to figure out, let's say, for example, you are pursuing someone or you're pursuing a relationship, or keeping that context, we're pursuing a relationship. Think about this. When you come to the table in a relationship, you're not just bringing all your good stuff, you're bringing your shortcomings, you're bringing your baggage, you're bringing your frustrations and your aggravations, you're bringing your worry points, you're bringing your pain points to it. You're bringing all this stuff with you. Now, if you're able to take time to sit back and learn to be alone for a second and have that power and solitude and go through your stuff and start to break that down and separate these things, you'll actually come into the situation, you'll come to the table, for lack of a better word, with a better leg to stand on. You'll come into it stronger, knowing who you are, knowing what you're working on, because you're not going to be perfect. I'm not a perfect person, nor do I pretend to be. I do these videos to help people out because I have a little bit of a perspective, but I'm still learning myself, and I'm going to continue to learn myself, which is why I also open it up for conversation for those who want to have a conversation with me. But I digress. When you solidify your position on your own, when you join with someone, you make it a stronger union. And in doing that, you also bring something else cool to the table. Because you spent time alone, you're not needy. You're not desperate. You understand that things take time. You have more patience because you learn to be by yourself. Now, there's also a thing of constantly being by yourself. That's a thing too. So while there is power in solitude, remember there's other parts to it as well if you go way too far to the extreme, to the other side. You become a hermit. Again, COVID forced us to become really inside ourselves, and we had to take a look at ourselves. For some people, it worked out well. For some others, it didn't. And it's hard. We understand that. But anyway, couple of pointers for staying in solitude, and the power of it, like I was mentioning before. We'll break it down right here. Number one, you learn more about yourself. You learn what you like, you learn what you dislike, you learn what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what gives you energy, what brings you life. Number two, you have the opportunity to catch up on things that require attention. You get to learn stuff, not just about you, get to learn an actual skill set. One of the things I started to do when I was by myself more, I started to read more. I set higher goals, set higher standards. And the third point from being in the power of solitude is that you can actually look at your shortcomings, right? You can look at yourself and be okay with that. It takes a little bit of practice, but you can actually sit there in the mirror and be 100% honest and transparent with yourself. And you don't have to worry about being transparent with everybody else, because if you start with yourself, everyone else comes easy. You don't have to hide behind your ego or your pride. So that's the power of solitude. Just a couple of pointers right there. If you want to have a conversation, feel free, hit me up, let me know what's up. I'd love to know your opinion on it. Or if not, share this with somebody else and, take that power, have some alone time. It's important, whether it's a few moments or a day. And if you have to swing it for a week, that's cool. But eventually you'll come back to reality and you get to show that power off to the world around you. All right. So I got for you today. Peace out.